Competent Communication Manual. This is being evaluated by Toastmaster Pandey. Can we have the objectives, please?
Good evening, Toastmasters. This project is research your topic. Objective of this project is collect information about your topic from numerous sources, carefully support your points and opinions with specific facts, examples and illustration gathered through research. Time 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pandey. This speaker is co-founder and CEO of SecureX, a cloud-based workforce management company. Prior to starting his journey as an entrepreneur, he worked for 16 years with Infosys and Emphasis. Today he will talk about different facets of startup fundraising and how his company SecureX is embarking on the journey to raise funds for its expansion. Please welcome the Toastmaster on a fast track. He has completed 6 projects in less than 3 months, which for Garden City is a record. Please welcome Toastmaster Prasanna Kumar.
Fundraising is an extreme sport, said Mark Pittman. Startup is a good evening Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests here. Startup is a young company which is just about to take a path of the growth curve, like SecureX, which is my company. Startups tend to approach angels and VCs for their expansion. The angels are very influential and wealthy people who will sit on piles of cash and will take bets on startups. Venture capital funds, on the other hand, would raise the money from investors and they would in turn invest in the companies. When do startups would actually plan to sort of raise funds? When somebody has an idea in a very primitive shape, they go to angels and they tell them the product idea that they have in the mind and they seek the funding. Right? Angels in turn will look at a product idea, the market plan, and the pitch that they want to present, and also the founder team before they decide to invest in. So once they sort of invest into the company, they keep a track of the company, and in turn, if a company has made some revenues, then obviously they will approach VCs for the fund. VCs would in turn look at the same profile that the angels had looked at, and they would pitch in for a 2 to 5 million kind of fundraise. So angels typically about 1 to 2 crores and VCs to the tune of 2 to 5 million. Right? So typical VC investors are like Sequoia, Axel, and Tiger Global. How do you approach VCs? Right? Any startup would approach VCs through the investment bank, and the investment bank would facilitate the process. And they will also help the founders to come up with the pitch deck and also the business plan, and they will be their end-to-end process of the fundraise. So how does, what are all the different components of the process that is involved, right after making a presentation to and finding out the IB, investment banker, what is the next process that is involved, right? So the typical the process that is involved is they prepare the plan and they go and make a presentation to the investors, etc. What are the trends that are happening in this segment is, if you look at before 2016, fundraising was a very difficult process in India, and the traction has picked up after 2006. Right? In the last 10 years, things have improved predominantly, and the nature of the startups have been, also quality of the startups have increased. And fundraise also, the amounts the companies were raising also significantly improved over a period of time. For example, California, which is Silicon Valley, is known for PC ecosystem. And in India, do you know which city is known for it? Bangalore. You're right, Bangalore. Right. So, for example, Securax as a company, right? So we are planning, we are embarking on a journey to raise our Series A fundraise, which is to the tune of 5 million USD. In rupees, it's about 30 crores. What have we done? So we are in the process of appointing the investment banker for our fundraise, and the IB is going to take us to different VCs, as we just spoke about. The topic of the day is walk the talk, because the topic that I have chosen is I'm actually doing it right now, right? So let me take an example of how I'm going to excite the investors with the presentation that I have, and so that I get money in my account, right? So Securax is my company. We have clocked a revenue of about 12 crore for the last financial year, and we are embarking on a journey for the fundraise. For this year, 2016-17, 17-18 we are looking at about 17-18 we are looking at about 18 crores revenue. And from the 4 offices that we have, in India and Middle East put together, and you can look at the number of clients that we have, with about roughly 1,200 odd customers with about 75 employees. So, what is the problem that we are trying to solve in this context is about 40-70% of the workforce today is the payroll leakages that happen in the society, right? So if any company you look at 40-70% of the workforce, expenses are the payroll expenses. Typically 2 to 5% is a leakage that is associated with the payroll, right? So we are trying to fix that payroll leakages, and also for the productivity of the workforce. In India we have about 70 crore population today. So we would like to sort of reduce the increase the productivity of the employees and also reduce the payroll leakages. This clearly talks about the payroll leakages and the teams that we have, and about 700 working 700 billion population. That's about 70 crore. And what is the market size that we have, right, for our product? Roughly about $30 billion is an opportunity that we have, and in India alone it is about $3.5 billion, which is roughly about 20,000 crores. And we are looking at making about 400 crore revenue in the next 5 years. Right? So what are we trying to do? We are actually doing a cloud-based workforce management solutions, which is going to disrupt the market the way Freshdesk is disrupting the market in the cloud space. Right? So we will be an alternative to Kronos, which is a leading player in the market as of today. Right? So it talks about how we are going to do counter this. So how are we going to win the deals, right? So we are actually winning the deals because our product is built for the SaaS, which is software as a service, and our product with unique features is poised to take on the growth, and we will be getting, we will be the only category leader in this segment in India for the years to come. And you can see how we are improving from 3 to 15 days for implementing a POC. Right? So let me take how we are actually trying to solve the problem with the customer. Right? So one of the largest e-commerce player in India is our client. So they have about 7,000 odd people when they came to us. After we implemented the system, it came down to about 5,500 people. They were most employees in the system. So they saved a crore a month, right? So that's you can imagine the saving of about 12 crores in a year. Right? So this is how we are scaling up to the larger scale. We have about 14 segments, and out of 14 we already have 7 customers in 7 different segments, and we are expanding for other regions. So this is how we are taking the investment route, and wish me all good luck in this exercise. Thank you. Over to you.